So let us, to understand this, we should study how light travels. So we have a light source, it's a special light source, you can speak with it. You have two friends who are positioned here, and the speciality of this light source is that it is sending only two rays. So one ray is corresponding to your friend and the other one to you. So this is what we call it as resolution, the angle between these two rays. Now the light source tells you that you go as far as you want, till I die you will be able to see me, the visibility. But the issue with these friends is they are fast friends. As you follow this ray, they would be going away from each other, the distance would be increasing because the resolution is the same, the angle is the same. So they would say, hey look, we want to be at the same distance, and you tell light source, now send a ray at a lesser angle than what it was here, and it would tell you, ask you what is the kind of angle that you want. We have L equal to R theta. So this is L, this is theta, this is R. So you calculate and you tell it an angle which is lesser than that. And we keep doing that, you will see that the angle, since you want your friend to be as close to you always, the resolution would be the resolution would need to be finer and finer. So farther you go, the resolution must be finer for visibility. Now to challenge the light source, you would tell the light source that I am going to go 1 light year away. That would be around 10 trillion kilometers. They go, and from there they call the light source, and the light source says, okay, what is the new angle? Then you need to explain to him that take 360-degree circle, pick out 1 degree out of that, divide that 1 degree into 165 billion equal parts. And the light would say, that's quite a bit of division. And you will tell it, this is just 1 light year. Yeah? We can see the farthest that the Hubble telescope that has been able to see a star is 5 billion light year away. We are talking about a meter of resolution. Possibly the visibility, the resolution of a telescope would be in micrometers. And then you tell the light source that in that case you will have to pick out this 1 degree and make 825 trillion billions equal parts. And since the mandate of light is to reach every nook and corner of the universe, this is only one plane. This has to happen through the complete 360 degree, and that is again one plane. You have to reach every nook and corner of the universe, which would mean a sphere. You need to touch every corner of the universe. If this is the situation, the light would give up and say, enough is enough. As it is, you are making me travel at a speed of 300,000 kilometers per second, and now you want me to keep dividing all these angles. Not interested. So you would suggest to the light source that, hey look, the mandate is that you should reach every nook and corner. The issue with this is when you are traveling as a light or as a line, as a ray or as a wave, this is the problem. The answer lies in these two figures. You ask the light source, try and get the clue from here, and the light source would understand that if at all, instead of sending the light as a ray, if at all it sends as circles, it will be able, does not have to worry at all about the resolution, because it is a continuous circle that it is going on. And this is a single plane, a circle is actually a sphere. And the light source would say, don't worry, all I have to do is sit here, I have the power to create rays. My idea would be easier to just send these spheres one after the other. I don't have to keep calculating these angles. Then you tell the sphere there is a catch, is that you have to do it continuously, because we want to see you as though you are existing. If the distance between, or the gap between these two spheres is larger, you would flicker. We would either see you sometime or you don't, and the light source would again say, don't worry, when I can do the 300,000 kilometers per second on the ray part, I can easily do the same thing for spheres, sending them at 300,000 kilometers per second. You would never know whether I am traveling as a line, wave, or a sphere. But the light source would ask you that, yes, agreed, I am sending independent spheres, and they would be concentric in nature, one after the other, and they are expanding in the diameter. And obviously, as you go further, this sphere would be reducing in strength, as though there is a thickness to it. So if you travel farther across, the light would die. That is also fine. But how do I create shadows? Shadows are created only because I travel as a ray, as a line. So you tell light source, don't worry, you have this light source, the spheres are emanating from this light source. So you have, let us say, an obstruction here. What is happening when this sphere is crossing this? It is tearing into the sphere as such. And then you tell the light source that, hey, look, when there is a tear, there are photons nearby. When the obstruction is cleared, ask those photons to repair the tear, make up for the torn surface, and then life would be easier. Then you need to explain to it why this would work with the shadows. So let us consider this is the light source. So this is the obstruction. So you have a sphere which is coming. It comes here. It starts crossing here. There is a tear happening. Now the photons obviously start repairing it, but they will not be able to do it immediately. They would need some time to move and repair the surface. So they will take some time. So long as the tear is not repaired, you would see the shadow because the light is not complete. So after this, the sphere would regain its original shape, which is spherical, but it will be less stronger. Now what happens when you bring this obstruction nearer? Because light would need this shadow to be shorter. So what would happen here? The sphere which was at this stage was weaker. It would be relatively, comparatively stronger here. So this stronger sphere will be able to repair the tear faster. When it repairs the tear faster, the shadow is shorter. Now let us come to a situation, the obstruction was where it was. The luminosity of the light is increased. The same thing happens here. Now, though the distance is same, the luminosity is increased, the strength of the sphere that is reaching here is the same as the strength of the sphere here, and hence it is able to create the same shadow like this, a shorter one. But again the light would ask you, since I also travel as wave, these shadows cannot be sharper. They will have to be not sharp. So you would say that, hey, look, since it is tearing that is happening, obviously the repair procedure will be continuous and smooth, and hence these would not be stark shadows. There will be light creeping in as it nears the end of the shadow. Why are we discussing this? Is because we are trying to understand what is happening to the photon, why is it switching between the two slits. So we saw now that this sphere is made up of all these photons which are there. So any obstruction that is kept, it would create a tear, and these nearby photons have to repair it. So this photon is always, it's in its nature to find out if there is any obstruction, and there will be obstruction when it is traveling, and that is why there is a lateral movement of photons. This is how spacity would explain. Now the proof of this experiment would be, it's a little crazy. You take a light source, put a good reflector here, white in color. You measure the brightness of this surface. Now introduce another good absorber, pitch black, at a distance that is lesser than this. Now again measure the brightness. If the brightness on this is more than the brightness of this, if the brightness becomes duller, that means it's a proof that light is traveling like a spherical bubble. Because if they were traveling like rays, if you keep a sphere here, it would not make a difference to the brightness of that is falling on the good reflector. Since you are creating a tear here, obviously the photons would have to be compensated. So this would get duller. If it gets duller, the light does travel as spherical bubbles. I tried to do it at home, but it is almost impossible to create a pitch dark room. Plus, however dark that I was able to take this absorber, there was a lot of reflection that is happening. So somebody who has capacity in a lab to reproduce this, this could be checked or verified.